Why do people leave South Africa? That's a discussion we were having with a good friend of mine. We're not really talking about that, but we're talking about the problems of South Africa in the past 20 years, which ended up bringing us to the issue of that question of why people leave South Africa. And when we're talking about people leaving South Africa, this conversation has been, for the longest time or until recently, been caricatured as to mean white South Africans who normally leave South Africa and go to Europe, and Europe normally doesn't work very well because of weather problems, and then they end up in Australia or New Zealand because the weather there is a lot more livable. But what has happened in the last few years, or at least between the years of 2017 and 2019, before COVID, is that we saw for the first time in the history of South Africa black South Africans leaving the country at higher rates than whites, and more blacks inquiring about leaving South Africa than whites, which then tells us that the issues that are facing South Africa are issues that are being felt and are being shared across the racial spectrum. And the reason why people leave South Africa is because South Africa is not functioning, and South Africans don't have political options. There isn't a political party registered right now in South Africa that has presented as solutions, any credible solution to the problems that are facing South Africa. And that would include the African National Congress, the Democratic Alliance, Freedom Front Plus, Economic Freedom Front, fighters, or whatever they're called, the EFF, IFP, UDM, SCDP, Rise, any of these other small parties. Not a single one of them have presented a plan that is workable. And because of that, people look at the situation and then they think to themselves, this is too much. This is too much. There is nothing that I can do about this. The only thing that I can do is to pack my bags, uproot my life, sell my house, sell my properties, and leave. And that's what people do. It's unfortunate because me and my friend were discussing in great detail like the solutions to some of the problems that are dogging South Africa. And at the end of the discussion, we realized that there are no adults in the room. None of these people are going to do anything to fix these problems. And I'm not interested in talking about ANC corruption. Can you please don't even get me started about that? I'm not interested. I'm really not interested in hearing anything about. If you're watching my videos and you think that this is an opportunity for you to come and air your irrational hatred of the ANC, just please don't. And also, please don't come back. I don't have time for any of that nonsense here. Please don't comment, and please go away. Don't come back. Like, we really don't have time for that, because a lot of you, especially of a certain pigmentation, you think that when we are complaining about the issues affecting South Africa, this is an ample opportunity for you to air your vitriol and your hatred of the ANC. Please just go away. Please go away. Yeah, but that's on the question of why people leave the country. That's really the reason. It's actually very sad. And most people don't want to leave their countries. They don't want to leave the countries that they were born in. They don't want to leave the countries that they were raised in because there's no place like home. But when you're looking at the things that are happening in South Africa, 40% unemployment, infrastructure that is broken and getting worse, debilitated, a shrinking middle class, income tax rates that are just too high. People look at all of that and they look at the governing party and what are the options that they have, and they have none. And they think to themselves that, you know what? I'm not trying to be a superhero. I'm not trying to be Rambo. I'm not trying to be Superman or Batman to save the Gotham City. What I'm going to do is I need to think about myself and my family. And I'm going to leave. And also, what I've noticed with a lot of white South Africans is that those who are not leaving the country, they get into the corporate space, and then when it comes to the issues of future and succession planning and retirement, all those things, they put almost all of their retirement funds into foreign holdings, whether it's Australian, European, American, or a combination of these in one way or another. That's what they do. And the only thing that they own in South Africa is their house. And then they work in South Africa for whatever, many of which are approaching the end of their working careers. And the plan is to sell the house, cash on that, pay the taxes on that, and leave. That's what a lot of West Africans are doing. All the kids are already out of the country. Yeah, so I've seen a lot of that happening. We really have a problem as a country. White, black, colored, Indian, whatever, we really have a big problem. And if we don't get a political solution to it, we will see a lot more people leaving the country. Yeah, it's actually it's quite frustrating because it feels like there's no choice to it. You don't have a choice. That if you want to do well, you have to leave. That's what many of us have felt in the past. Many have felt like that prior to leaving. Many who are still in South Africa are feeling like that. That's a big problem.